size. That is the first college sample size will be 600 students. So the value of N1 will be at 600. So out of the 600 students, there are 400 students to be used to be picked. So the proportions of the first colleges, that is the P1 is equal to 400 by 600, which implies the answer will be 0.667. And in the second college, that is the sample of 900 students, which implies the sample size will be at 900. So the N2 value will be at 900. So the proportion of the second college will be at 450 students divided by 900. So which implies the answer will be at 0.5. So this is the proportion and the sample size for this problem. So next we are going to define the hypothesis for this problem. So the hypothesis is, first we are going to define the null hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is there is no significant difference in this college to using this fit. So that was the null hypothesis, which is thus P1 is equal to P2. And the alternative hypothesis will be there is significant difference between the two colleges for using fits, that will be at P1 not equal to P2. So this is the null hypothesis as well as the alternative hypothesis. Next we are going to define the formula for this two proportion. So the formula to calculate this problem is P1 minus P2 divided by root of capital P into 1 minus P into 1 by N1 plus N2. So this is the formula. So we are going to substitute all the terms which is given in the question. Here the P1, P2, N1, N2 terms are known, which is given in the question. But the unknown term is capital P. So first we are going to find what is the value for the capital P. So the formula to find the capital P will be an x1 plus x2 divided by n1 plus n2. Here also the n1 n2 value already we know, but we don't know what is the value of x1 and x2. So first we are going to define what is the value of x1 and x2. So the formula to calculate the value x1 and x2 will be an n1 into p1. So the value of n1 into p2 or p1 is 600 into 0.667, which is the value of x1 is 400.2. So next the same way we are going to calculate for the x2 value. So the x2 value is n2 into p2, which implies that 900 into 0.5. So the value will be at 450. So this is the value of x1 as well as x2. Now we are going to substitute in the term of capital P. So by substituting x1, x2, n1, n2, I found the answer, that is the 0.5668, which is the answer for the capital P. So now we are going to substitute all those values in the capital Z. So which is here we all know that what is the value of P1, P2, and just now we found what is the value of capital P, and also N1, N2 also, which is given in the question. So we found all the answers for this formula. Now we are going to substitute this in this formula. So this is the substitution case. So I substitute the value of P1 minus P2, and then this is the value of capital P. So capital P into 1 minus of capital P, which is the value of 1 minus 0.5668. And again in the next case the value will be 1 by N1 plus N2. So the value of N1 will be 600 and N2 will be 900. Now I substituted all those values for this formula. We are going to simplify this case. By simplifying first, numerator part 0.667 minus 0.5, the answer will be 0.167. 4 divided by the root of, again we are going to simplify this. By simplifying these two part, I get an answer as 0.24555. And again the next part will be 1 by 600 plus 1 by 900 will be an answer as 0.00277. So this is the numerator, denominator part. Now we are going to simplify this all those things. By simplifying all those, I get an answer as 6.4. So the value of Z will be at 6.4. Now we are going to find out the critical value of 5% level of significance. So the value of 5% level of significance will be at 1.96. We are going to compare this with the calculated value 6.4. Here the critical value will be 1.96 and the calculated value will be at 6.1. While comparing these two, our calculated value will be greater than 1.96. So if it is greater than 1.96, we are going to reject the null hypothesis. If it is less than, we accept the null hypothesis. But in this case, our calculated value will be greater than the critical value. So we reject the null hypothesis. If we reject the null hypothesis, the answer will be there will be a significant difference between the two colleges by using this fit. So this is the problem. On the whole sample, by concluding this, I am saying that. So there are two samples are given. From the two samples, we are going to find out what is the proportion, and from the proportion we are going to calculate the Z value, that is the P1 minus P2 divided by root of P into 1 minus P into 1 by N1 plus N2. Here first we have found what is the value of capital P. Then we are going to substitute all those values in the given question. By substituting, I get an answer of 6.4. After finding the answer, we are going to compare this with the critical value. So while I get an answer, that is the our calculated value will be greater than the critical value. If it is greater than the critical value, we accept the null hypothesis. Thank you.